You and I as the Israelites, have to war within yourselves and against your own fleshly lusts. You have to war with worldly temptation. With all the spiritual energy you can muster, war for the kingdom of Yah.
We aim and shoot scriptural bullets at demon troops. I'm just spitting truth. Look at yourself if it's staying you. Release yourself when the lies and the doctrine you clinging to. Repenting mean the path that you walk and you see it through. That mean you gotta switch up your people, leaving the crew. That mean you gotta watch what you say and watch what you do. But until you see the truth.
All right, Shalom, Israel, what's going on?
Shalom.
First, I want to start off by giving all praise to the Most High Yah in the name of the Son, Yahweh Shai. The title of today's lesson is Every Day is a Fight. So let me start off with the scripture. Give me Job 14, 1 and 2. Because every day we got to go through something, whether we fighting with spirit, fighting with flesh, or just fighting with hard times.
This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 1. Man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not.
You see that? So our days are short and they full of sorrow. And, we don't want to dwell. We want to be, and just like a flower, a flower come, it bloom. Then, it might stay there for a day or two. Then tomorrow it's gone. So our time is short. And, it got shorter after we started transgressing the word of the Most High. So what we go do, and then another thing is we got to make sure we enjoy the little brief periods of happiness and good times that we have. You can get 2nd Ezra 7, 11 through 14.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 11. Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit.
You see that before, things were a lot easier. When our forefathers, they lived in the garden, all this temptation wasn't really around. It was some temptation, of course, but it wasn't as abundant like it is now. You ain't have to worry about the same things like you did now. Just like they ain't even have to worry about how they would go eat. They used to live in the garden, so they ain't have to worry about, they wouldn't worry about much, just wouldn't worry about nothing. But we, because they transgressed, now we got to work. We got to be worried about all these things. We got an abundance of temptation. Keep going.
Verse 14. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
You see that? We got to work to receive the promises and the things that the Most High promised to give us, to receive our inheritance, so to speak. Let me get Genesis 5, 3 through 5, get a little background on that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 5, and verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth.
Look, Adam was 130 when he had a child. You don't even think know nobody that lived to 100 today. Barely. You might see somebody that lived to 100. I don't know nobody that ever made it to 130.
Life must have been good.
Man, keep going.
Verse 4. And the days of Adam, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters.
At 800, keep going.
Verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died.
You see that? So back then, in the garden, our forefathers were living 800 and 900 years like it wasn't nothing. Still having children at 800 years old. Let me get First Maccabees 1:7-10.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then he died.
Yeah.
And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
You see that? So we still living with this evil that been multiplied in the earth. And this is our oppressor multiplying these evils. So how much more evil you think it is from this period forward than what it was back in the garden?
Plenty more to come.
Plenty more. Keep going.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage in Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of Greeks.
You see that? We already know who the Greeks are.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Let me get Genesis 6, 1-6. Just go back into when these evils get multiplied, what happens?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
You see that? So this was the start, a part of the start of all the wickedness. I mean, it was, like I said, it was sin before that, but this is just when it started getting out of hand.
Mhm.
You know, we saw the sons of God, saw the daughters of men, mixing with them other nations, always trying to mingle with them other nations and be like them and associate with them.
That's still going today.
Oh yeah, of course it do.
Okay.
Keep going.
Verse 3. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
That 800 and 900 year old stuff is cut off right here. You see that? Most I said 120. That's all you get. Keep going.
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Ooh, you see that? We not at this point. Men weren't even thinking about keeping the law. They weren't thinking about the Most High. They weren't thinking about, everything was just evil. Evil, lust, everything. Everything evil is, the root of they thought was evil. What else? 5 or 6?
That was verse 5.
Yeah, give me 6.
Verse 6. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
You see that? How wicked you got to be to make the Most High just be like, dang, why you made these?
Oh.
But we know what happened after that. The flood came and took everybody on about it.
That's right.
Yep.
And destruction.
Yep. So let's get some of this, get into these articles. Let me get this first one. And it's Fox News, and it's titled, Government Shutdown After Congress Deadlocks on Spending Deal. So this is the hard times that we got to go through. So that's why I said, it's going to always be some hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read. The federal government is officially entering a partial shutdown on Wednesday after the midnight funding deadline passed, with Democrats and Republicans failing to agree on a bill. An earlier attempt by Senate Republicans to pass a short-term extension of fiscal year 2025 government funding levels, called a continuing resolution, was sunk by Democrats who were furious about being sidelined and shut down negotiations. The bill, which would have given Congress until November 21 to set fiscal year 2026 funding priorities passed the House largely along party lines on September 19th. The Senate is expected to vote on the same bill again on Wednesday, with more votes to come through the rest of the week and into the weekend until after a deal is struck or Democrats relent. House Republicans have been away from Washington in order to pressure the Senate to pass their bills. House Democrats, however, returned this week in a bid to paint a contrast between themselves and the GOP. So, this happens. Seems like it happened every couple of years. I don't think it. Yep. But anyway,
Yeah.
the government shutdown. They can't. They trying to pass a budget and they can't come to an agreement. Democrats and Republicans. The reason I got this one was because this particular article, because I usually use CNN, but I wanted to prove a point. Go back to the. Okay, let me read some more. Trump told reporters earlier in the day that Republicans did not want a shutdown, but warned the GOP could inflict pain on Democrats should the government close. We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like, Trump said in reference to OMB's memo. Yeah, so you see, he's saying, well, Trump, he trying to strong arm, like, while we shut down, we can do this, this, and this, and y'all
Right.
ain't go like that. So let me get another point in here that I want to hit. But okay, I can get it back at the beginning of the article. Read this sentence again. House Democrats, however, wanted return this weekend. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, an earlier attempt by Senate Republicans to pass a short-term extension on fiscal year 2025 government funding levels called a continuing resolution was sunk by Democrats who were furious about being sidelined in shutdown negotiations. So you see, Republicans was trying to basically pass an extension, so they got more time to negotiate, and the Democrats was like, nah, we ain't going for that. So, I know a lot of us be siding with the Democratic Party. And I read this particular article to let y'all know none of them are on your side. So don't sit here and think that because, the Democrats do some stuff that they actually care. It's all smoke and mirrors. That's that. Go back to that liberal extremist lesson that I taught a couple weeks ago. It's all the same stuff. They come forth and appear like they want to help, but in real life, it all is, I can't get my way. Well, we finna, on both sides, we go pull the curtain from up under you. We don't care who get hurt by it.
Aren't they the ones that implemented same-sex marriage?
Yep. Look, I think
Obama, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Your Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's that was our everybody's favorite president.
No, not everybody. I ain't had one of them.
Man. But you see that though, we all this trouble, people that's on that get health care, get government health care, people that get all kinds of government assistance, food stamps, welfare, all that. That's who get affected by this the most. And then, well, I ain't gonna say the most, but that's who get affected by this, the common person. And then if you want to keep going, a lot of people that work for the government get affected like this because they're not getting paid during this time.
No checks.
No checks at all.
Working for free.
So tell me it ain't continuous sorrow and trouble. This life is short and full of peril.
Don't go to your state parks.
Man, yeah, because they said they cut that out.
You won't be using the bathroom inside. You'll be outside with animals.
Man. All right, let me get this next article. We finna bring this on home. And this is CBS News, and it's titled, "Does Congress Get Paid During a Government Shutdown?" Hundreds of thousands of federal employees could soon go without pay or face potential layoffs since a government shutdown went into effect on October 1st. The GOP-controlled House passed a bill earlier this month to extend government funding until November 21, but the bill stalled in the Senate, where Democrats votes were needed to advance it. Democrats wanted an extension of health care subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, which Republicans opposed. With hours left before the midnight deadline Wednesday, the Senate voted down two competing Democratic and Republican proposals to keep the government funded. Under the shutdown, federal employees in critical job positions are required to stay on the job. So they have to go to work. Have to.
Federal officers.
Mm-hmm. Many others will be forced to stay home. Both groups will have changed their paychecks. Both groups will have their paychecks delayed until Congress approves more spending. Most federal contractors might not get paid at all. Here's what the shutdown means for lawmakers themselves and their paychecks. Will members of Congress get paid during a government shutdown? The short answer is yes. Lawmakers will continue to draw a paycheck. The reason is because of how their pay is treated under the Constitution and federal law. Article 1, Section 6 of the Constitution states that senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. Lawmakers' pay has been funded by a permanent appropriation since 1983, according to recent Congressional Research Service reports, meaning funding for their pay doesn't need to be renewed annually. Members' pay rate is set by a process established by federal law, and the 27th Amendment says any law to change their pay can't take effect until after the next congressional election. You see that? So they can do whatever they want to.
Go get paid.
They go get paid. They check ain't affected. So you think they really care about the government being shut down?
No.
Because they getting paid anyway. Why do they care? Why would they care? I bet if they didn't get paid, you think it'll shut down? It probably never shut down.
No. They got big bills to pay.
Man, it'll probably never shut down. Let me get Isaiah 30, 11 through 12. But this is y'all, these the people y'all voted in there though. So you know how it these the people y'all voted in there.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, and verse 11. Get ye out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
How many of y'all get caught by surprise every time the government shut down?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen somebody be like, yeah, the government might shut down. You know, I saved a check or two. I ain't never seen nobody. You can catch everybody off guard every time.
Yeah, the last time they shut down was 30-some years ago. So, you know, they always talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't shut down for a little short periods here and there, but you know.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Maybe long shut down, about 30 years, something like that.
But man, they
But no, you ain't ready.
Yeah, you don't be prepared. Who is actually prepared to just not get paid?
I don't know.
Who prepared to lose health care? Break your leg during the shutdown, and you on Medicare. See what happens. Golly.
Oh, goodness.
Man.
Hard times.
Man, you don't know what might happen to you. But
Man.
But man, yeah, they you know, they don't care, you know, but we want to what's that the Black Caucus?
Yeah.
NAACP. We want to join all these groups to get into these political
Edomite society.
Yeah, get into these political circles and
to be walked on.
Is that exactly what happened? Because you know what I don't think the NAACP really making no moves right now.
Well, they never have.
I didn't think they had either.
You know, the creation of the NAACP was by Esau himself.
Yeah.
Why would he make a move for you? They just better keep you down.
Man, so y'all keep paying them NAACP dues if y'all want to.
Straight to Esau's pocket.
Man, but you know, we trust in oppression. You know, we don't trust in the word of the Most High. We up here every time it's time to vote. Y'all gotta get out there and vote. If you care about, and don't none of the candidates actually care about us.
Hey, You remember what was that when Puffy and them was out there? Who was they getting the votes for? Obama? Remember he out there dancing and jigging and everything. Look where he is now.
Oh well, that's who he wanted. You know, he was for gay rights.
Yeah.
That did him some good. That did him some good.
Oh, man.
So he, you know, he was with all that. We didn't know it at the time, but he was with
Know
all
it
that.
now.
Yeah. So yeah, of course. Let me get Numbers 11, 5 and 6.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 11 and verse 5. We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons, and the leeks and the onions.
Oh man, they can't
And
look.
the garlic.
They gonna be complaining about them food stamps and them welfare. Oh, we remember the food stamps.
Man. But now, our soul is dried away. There's nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes.
See, yeah, you don't want to, you know, that adversity that you go get when it's time to walk up out of this place. Yeah, I trust in oppression. Yeah, I love that. Like I say, y'all love that food stamps and that welfare.
Yeah.
Like I say, y'all trade y'all parent, you know, y'all husband and wives in for the food stamps and the welfare. But you know, it didn't happen. A lot of women traded their men for food stamps, welfare, you know, all child support, all that stuff. Because you trust in oppression. You love it. You love it. But you know, like I said, of course we gonna always have a hard time, but at least you'll have your freedom if you wanted to get up out of this place and separate. But most of us are not gonna do it.
That's crazy. You trust in oppression. You know how many people would do something to you if you try to get the food stamps cut off?
Oh man.
Government assistance, Section 8.
Look, and that's why I said they might be cut off, you know. Depending on what agreement they come to for this.
It's people you go tell, look, we got a good job for you over here. You just got to get off government assistance.
They won't do it.
Forget their job. They want their government assistance.
Yep. They love that oppression.
Trust and oppression.
But you know, like I said, this ruler we got over us, they wicked, and we can't even see it. You know, because of stuff like that, because they can get free food, you know, food stamps, healthcare, welfare. They really ain't worth a quarter either, you know, especially the healthcare, you know, but we don't see it like that. Let me play that video. I'll let you know when to stop. Go to the Cornelius Vanderbilt, who had owned the majority of the railroads, and John D. Rockefeller, who owned the majority of the oil, couldn't come to an agreement for shipping. So, you know, they fighting with each other, and John D. Rockefeller pulled his oil from the railroads. Not that he wasn't making money, but just because he couldn't get a cheaper deal, and he wanted to be the richest man in the world. And he's like, he stopped me from being the richest man in the world, so I'm just pulling my ship. Yeah. And you see, he single-handedly caused depression just so he could be the richest man in the world. Keep going on there. These people, they don't care because they, just like the government, ain't missing their paycheck. Back then, the same thing. They get into it and, you know, can't come to an agreement. They don't care what the ramification is. One side they go try to win, you know. They go try to win regardless of who they hurt, who they step on, you know. So it don't make them no difference, you know, whether the government shut down. They not missing no paycheck. They lifestyle will continue just how it is now. Great. Just like it did then, you know. Like I said, it was a little different back then because it was captains and industries fighting each other, but it's the same thing. This is not new. Let me get I'll hold off on that one. But yeah, let me get Matthew 19, 23, and 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, and verse 23. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
You see that? So it ain't that there's nothing wrong with being rich, but it's how you get there. Because most of them, this is how they get here. Like, how many people you think they killed in they petty beef?
Many.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, no, seriously, how many people you think died from that stupidity? Because that's really stupidity when you think about it. You know, so and just let me get a scripture sidebar. Let me get a scripture. Let me get Ecclesiastes 7:12. Because this just to show y'all that this, money there ain't nothing wrong with making money.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
You see that? So wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. So if you have money, it can defend you from certain things, certain hard times and certain economic pressures.
From hunger?
Yeah. You can always maneuver in this world, at least with money. It's gonna come a time where it ain't gonna do you no good now. So that's why you gotta have the wisdom so you can know what you're supposed to be doing with it anyway. But it ain't nothing wrong with making some money. Let me get Luke 19:1-9 to get another example in the scriptures.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 19, and verse 1. And Yahushua entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Yahushua, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature.
You see that? So this rich man who was chief among the publicans, he was rich and he wanted to see Yahushua. Keep going.
Verse 4. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Yahushua came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide in thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully.
You see that? This is a rich man right here that Yahushua is receiving joyfully. Keep going.
And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner.
See that? But Zacchaeus was a sinner. So what shall we do? Keep going.
Verse 8. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Most High, Behold, Master, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. Mm-hmm. And Yahushua said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for as much as he also is the son of Abraham.
You see that? So Zacchaeus was rich, but he had cheated some people along the way, which is why the people was murmuring, and you're going to be with this sinner, blah, blah. But because he wanted to enter into the kingdom, he said, well, let me restore the wrong that I've done and go give back to the ones that I've cheated. But how many rich people go do that today?
No.
None. That's why it's harder for them to enter the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to pass through an eye of a needle. Not because they rich, but because of what they did on the way to get there.
Yeah, don't look for your master truck to give you anything.
Yep. Because like I said, just like how many tens of thousands of people you think Rockefeller and Vanderbilt killed?
Many.
Man, give me the next portion of that video. So, like I said, they wouldn't destroy. They destroyed a whole industry and killed the economy of an entire city just so he could be the richest man in the world. Not that he wasn't insanely rich already at this point, but he wanted to be richer than Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You see that? So, just these rich people fighting among each other, and at the end of the day, their lifestyle don't change a bit. They go still have lights, gas, and water at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have lights, gas, and water at the end of the day. They don't care. They want to win. So. But let me get the scripture. Ecclesiasticus 25:1. But that's why we have to. Hard times is coming. It's always around the corner. Something else gonna happen. So don't spend your good days fighting with your brother or fighting with your sister, because we one decision away from somebody up there in Congress or somebody at the top of one of these companies making a crazy decision that don't affect them, but it's gonna affect your life drastically. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 25, verse 1. Mm-hmm. In 3 things I was beautified. I stood up beautiful, both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
You see that? So these are things that the Most High love, and these are beautiful things. The unity of brethren. What's the second one?
The love of neighbors.
The love of your neighbor. So the love of your brother, and a man and a wife that are together. So don't spend time. Oh man. But don't spend time. Don't spend your time, the short time that we have here that's full of troubles, and add to the trouble by fighting and bickering with your brother and your wife over stupid stuff. We got enough trouble out here in the world as it is. Enjoy what you have and be grateful for the good relationship that you have with people. A lot of y'all mad at somebody from high school 20 years ago and don't even remember why. You probably really dive into it. So you throwing away your brother for something stupid and something petty, or you mad at your wife, or your wife mad at her husband for something petty? Come on, we got to stop doing that. It's enough trouble as it is. Let me get Ecclesiasticus 30, 21 through 24.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 21. 21 to what?
24.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel.
See that? Keep going.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
You see that? So let me skip back up to 21. Give not thyself thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself. You see that? A lot of whether we happy or not, we determine that regardless of the trouble and the sorrow that's going on around us. We can't control that, but we can control how we respond to it and how we deal with it. Just because, you had supposed to have a party outside and it rained today. So what? Just be glad that all the people that could attend the party still love and care about you.
Yeah.
Just because some don't go your way, because that's what it really comes down to. Just like these capitalists in this video that we just watched. Mm-hmm. Just because some don't go your way, don't mean you have to ruin the whole moment. Enjoy the people that you have in your life. Enjoy the things that you have, because it can, like I said, we one decision away. Mm. We won.
Like that flower you was talking about.
Yeah, it's one day. One day. That's all it takes. It'll be there and big and beautiful. Tomorrow it'll wither up and it's gone. Keep going on that.
Verse 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there's no profit therein.
Oh man. How many of us walk around moping over something that we can't control? Just for no reason. And you could have been let it go and moved on, but you keep moping about it. Mm. Keep going.
Verse 24. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time.
You see that? Envy and wrath shorten life. And by carefulness, it means being full of cares, full of worry, And it's go bring your age before the time, which means you go die before your time. Before that 120 years, you go be out of here. You up here worrying and stressing about every little small thing that happens. Because like I said, it's plenty of things happening. So you go sit there and worry about every single one of them?
No.
Man, I mean, you can, but you ain't gonna be here long. That's what that's saying. Let me get Matthew 18. Nah,
Okay.
let me get Matthew 18, 21 and 22.
This is the book of Matthew,
This is one of my new favorites. You brought this one out.
chapter 18, verse 22.
Yeah, 21 and 22.
Verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Master, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times. Yahweh said unto him, I say not unto thee unto 7 times, but unto 70 times 7.
You see that? Who said 490?
490 times.
Like I said, and then you go into the spirit with it. That's just completion. However many times it take to forgive him. Because like I said, our life too short and too full of sorrows. We walk around here holding petty grudges against each other for stuff that don't even matter when you really think about it. Let me get first.
We cut our brothers and sisters off one time.
For anything, and like I said, you look at the asking anybody about Rockefeller, they go hold him in high regard, and he can kill tens of thousands of people with his decisions.
Let us do one thing.
Oh man,
you through with
then did it twice. They did it twice. The same thing twice. Like you said, we do it one time.
You through with us.
Man, you remember when you bump somebody in the hallway and it might be going down in high school.
Not step on my shoe.
Man. Remember, we had a whole era like in the early 2000s. What else? Late 90s, early 2000s.
2000, bro. I'll take you back to the 80s. You step on them top 10s, just over there.
That was for my time.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You step on them shoes, well, it's going down. Let me get 1 Kings 3, 7 through 10, because we look at, people in Congress, people in the Senate. We look at these great industry leaders today, like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Basically, they the Rockefellers and Vanderbilts of the day.
Yeah.
We look at them, we hold them in high esteem, and them allegedly our leaders. But let's see what the prayer that a real leader will be having. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 7. And now, O Yahweh, my Father, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in.
You see that? So first of all, to break this down, you see how Solomon, he didn't say, I'm the king. He said, I'm a servant. He was a servant first before he was a king.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Verse 8. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered, nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Most High, that Solomon had asked this thing.
You see that? So Solomon didn't ask for riches, or how can I be, be this chess? How can I be the top dog?
No.
HNIC, whatever. He like, how can I fairly judge this great people, your chosen people? He made himself a servant first before he was a king. Anybody up there in Washington making themselves a servant? Even though that's the job of government.
All kings.
All kings. They just kings.
Just like they Master Trump.
Oh yeah. Let me get Leviticus 19 and 15, because but this the folks we chose to lead us, and we proud of it too. You don't hear nobody really talking about separating from this nation.
Heck no.
Like I said, we got NAACP and the Black Caucus and all that other crap we got.
And the Black Panthers and the rest of the tribes. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness should thou judge thy neighbor.
You see that? We supposed to be able to judge righteously. Are they up there judging righteously up there? No, they not. Like I said, they'll shut the government down, make sure they get paid, and don't nobody else get paid. Congress getting paid. They ain't missing nothing. But Trump ain't missing nothing.
But you will.
But you will. Let me get but like I said, that's what we supposed to be trying to separate from this place and establish our own government so we can judge righteously. We ain't gonna respect the poor. We ain't gonna respect the rich above the poor. Let me get Psalms 9, 7 through 10.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse 7. But the Most High shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness.
If the Most High was issuing out righteous judgment right now at this time, you think they'll be sitting where they sit at now? No, so they will not.
And probably neither will you.
Right. Look, that's the thing too. Keep going.
Verse 9. The Most High also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for the Most High has not forsaken them that seek thee.
See that? We're supposed to be seeking the Most High in these hard times. You see that? Like I said, we look into when one set of wicked senators and politicians do us wrong, we look to another set of wicked senators and politicians to fix what they did wrong. And look how what that done got us in the past couple of years, past 150 years or so.
A chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe a pork chop.
Welfare food stamps. And single parent household. That's what it done got us.
You may do good, so you think.
Maybe
you get a shrimp basket.
Man. They was going crazy over them seafood boys when during COVID when they got to. Let me get Psalms 119 and 142 through 144.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 1.
142 and 144 through 144.
Verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
You see that? The law, like I said, the law don't respect persons. The law don't care how rich you are. The law don't care how poor you are. This judgment is going to be fair and just. Keep going.
Verse 143. Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me, yet thy commandments are my delights.
So in these times of hardship, we still have to delight in the commandments and keep them to the best of our abilities.
Verse 144. The righteousness of thy testimonies is everlasting. Give me understanding, and I shall live.
See that? We should be seeking this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. No matter what time it is, no matter good time or bad time. We're supposed to be seeking this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Let me get Isaiah 9, 6, and 7.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
See that? We ain't got no peace now. When last time we had peace?
The people over there in Jerusalem said it is like
they've been at war. I don't know when the last time.
It say that the people gonna have peace. Yeah. So that ain't there.
Couldn't be.
Oh.
It couldn't be. What year they got started? 1940, what, 48, 49 or something like that?
Yeah.
They've been at war ever since.
Ain't had no peace yet.
None. So look, they couldn't be the people. And like I said, this scripture, we talking about Yahweh Shai, it's prophecy about Yahweh Shai. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice. From henceforth, even forever, the zeal of Yah of hosts will perform this.
You see that? So when Yahweh Shah come back and establish his kingdom, it's gonna be forever, and it's gonna be with justice and righteousness.
Ever.
Ain't gonna be no one man running the show. Well, he gonna be the one man running the show, but ain't gonna be no one man benefiting, from everybody else's work, and real uneven, lopsided. You can do whatever you want to because you got the most power. Nah, we ain't gonna be none of that.
Days over.
Yeah, he goes, you try that if you want to. Thank you, Rockefeller finna come up here and do something like that if you want to. The Most High go snap his neck. All right, that's it. Shalom.
Shalom.
You and I as the Israelites, have to war within yourselves and against your own fleshly lusts. You have to war with worldly temptation. With all the spiritual energy you can muster, war for the kingdom of Yah.
We aim and shoot scriptural bullets at demon troops. I'm just spitting truth. Look at yourself if it's staying you. Release yourself when the lies and the doctrine you clinging to. Repenting mean the path that you walk and you see it through. That mean you gotta switch up your people, leaving the crew. That mean you gotta watch what you say and watch what you do. But until you see the truth.